All right, let's continue here on BOXTOROW. We're joined by a gentleman. As a matter of fact, he's in his 7th season with the Houston Texans. And I got to tell you, he's a former first-round draft pick out of Alabama State back in 2019. He is Tytus Howard. He joins us here on BOXTOROW. What's going on, Tytus? Welcome back to the program.
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
Man, it's good. We just, kind of want to see what's going on with you. And, boy, it's a tough loss. I mean, it's a tough loss against the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. Just kind of your thoughts on, sort of the way the season has gone to this point.
It's definitely not going the way we pictured it, but we it's early on in the season, so I feel like we got a lot of football to go. And I would rather be losing now and learn from it early on than it happen later on in the season. So I feel like as a team, we see a lot of things that we need to work on to get better, and we just got to focus on that.
Yeah, what are some of those things you guys feel like you need to work on?
I know as an offense, I think we just got to eliminate the penalties for one. And then another thing is you got to be able to execute on third down. I think early on this season we struggled on third down. A lot of teams been blitzing us a lot, so we just got to be able to do better at play as one and be able to pick up all the blitzes to get our quarterback some time.
And if you fix those things, I mean, the things are going to kind of come around, right? Like you're talking about two very tough losses, one by one. The other was to the Rams with it 14-9, I think. But that's two tough losses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Two tough, close losses to two good teams. And if you think about it, we lost both of those games. I mean, to lose those games and with that close to the way we played, it speaks volumes to the potential the team can be at. So we just got to continue to work on our craft every day, and we can show it this weekend in Jacksonville.
I got to tell you, Tytus, I mean, look, I looked up, man, you're 7 years in. You're an old man. International footballing, not really, but you know what I mean. Like, does it seem like it's been 7 years?
Yeah, man. I was just talking about some of the young guys earlier because I was like, man, it go by fast, dog. Like, I remember when I was a rookie first getting in here, and now I only got one guy on the team that I was teammates with my rookie year. So, like, it goes by fast, but I still feel young though. So that keeps me, excited every day and feeling good.
Yep. Tytus Howard, of course, he's in his 7th season, all with the Houston Texans, a first-round draft pick back in 2019 out of Alabama State. He joins us here on BOXTOROW. And matter of fact, as you know, that 2019 season was an all-rookie season. But the last couple of years, I mean, the Texans have been knocking on the door. C.J. Stroud is there. What in particular have the last 2 years been like for this team, for you in particular, with of course, DeMeco Ryans as the head coach?
Oh, man, it's been very exciting. It feels good to be winning a lot of football games and be able to play in the playoffs. And, those atmospheres, those type of games are the games you dream of playing in. You watch football when you're a kid, everybody tune into the playoffs. So, like, being able to play in those games in the playoffs, and, it's very exciting for me. But, just having those guys like DeMeco and CJ to help turn around the program has been phenomenal, man. Because, I think about it, for those 3 years, we had it was a hard time here. So to be back on the good side of it, man, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to, this season and extending that.
Of course, the upcoming game at Jacksonville. It's, when you hear this talk, I hear this talk about, certainly the Texans, and in particular, you heard a lot about it during the course of last season. And of course, able to overcome it by winning a playoff game, and won a playoff game the previous year. Seems like a lot of people are down on the Texans. Do you all use that as motivation?
I wouldn't say we use it as motivation, because at the end of the day, we try to focus on the things that, we can control, the things that, and the people that's in this building. We know the work we put in each and every day. We know there's always going to be people who, talk about the Houston Texans, because one thing about the Houston Texans, they think of this team as the same Houston Texans from a couple of years ago, but we've evolved, and we are a whole new team. We had a whole new mindset. So I think people, still when they hear Houston Texans, they think of that. But, it's a new day here. So we just continue to work on and focus on all the things, all the people that's in the building, and then we just go from there.
Yeah, Yeah, for you now, you got to tell this story. You know, I've had like you played quarterback. You were a quarterback in high school. Like you were a quarterback, like maybe a little more than 10 years ago now, right? But like you were a quarterback in high school. How does one go from being a good quarterback, I might add, to being the starting right tackle for the Houston Texans?
Well, yeah, I was a quarterback like pretty much my whole life, and when I pretty much didn't get recruited at all for real, because I mean, there's a lot of stuff playing to get recruited, and then I was in a small town, so like nobody really like knew of me. So when I ended up going to Alabama State, actually my mom DM'd the head coach Reggie Barlow, and it's like, hey, you need to watch my son tape. You know, he wanted to come walk on to the football team, and eventually, you know, he responded, you know, and I ended up going there and I ended up walking on to the football team. And then they was like, hey, we're not going to have you play quarterback. We see, you know, you can run the ball, you can do all this type of things. We want to try you at tight end. So I ended up being moved to tight end, played tight end for a year and a half, 2 years. And then we had a new coaching staff come in. It was Brian Jenkins was the head coach at the time. And he had an O-line coach named Prince Pearson, rest in peace. But he came up to me one day. I was like 230, 240 pounds. He was like, hey, I'm going to make you an offensive lineman. And I was like working out. I was like, hey, I don't play offensive line. I play tight end. And he was like, nah, man, I'm looking at your build. I'm telling you, that's the O-lineman body right there. And I didn't think too much of it. So, like, halfway through the season, we had a couple guys get hurt on the offensive line, and I was a backup tight end at the time. I was like more like the blocking tight end, and they was like, "Hey, Tytus, another lineman go down this weekend. We're gonna need you to fill in at tackle." I was like, "Well, I'm not doing that." I was like, "I can't play O-line," and then they was like, "Well, you're gonna have to do it." So actually, one of my best friends was starting right tackle at the time, and like a couple plays into the game, we was playing Mississippi Valley. He ended up getting hurt. And then as soon as we got to the sideline, they had told me like, hey, you going in at tackle. And I was like, oh man, this is crazy. And then so I ended up playing tackle for the rest of the game. I actually did pretty good. And I get back to the facility the next morning. I go to my locker, drop my bag off and stuff, and I had knee braces in my locker. And I'm like, bro, who knee braces these here? The equipment guy was like, oh, they was yours. They told us to put them in your locker. I was like, you can take these knee braces back. So he take the knee braces back. I go upstairs, sit in the tight end room. My coach come in there, was like, hey, we need you to go next door. I'm like, what do you mean go next door? And then he was like, well, you gonna go in there with the offensive line? I was like, well, I'm done. I'm not doing that. So I ended up leaving, going back to my dorm, called my older brother at the time. He was like, you know, you should just, you know, stay, try to earn a scholarship, this and that. I was like, I talked to my mom, she said the same thing. So I went back and I ended up just staying there, but like I really didn't want to play offensive line. So I was like, I made it up in my mind. I took my friends, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and practice tomorrow, and I'm gonna give up a sack every play, and they gonna move me back to tight end. So I went out there and gave up like probably 4 or 5 sacks in a row, and then the offensive line coach pulled me to the side and was like, "You can get your butt kicked every day, but I ain't moving you back to back to tight end. So if you want to get embarrassed out here in front of all your friends, so be it." So right then, he was like, you know, if you just buy in and listen and put some weight on this and that, I'm gonna make you a first round pick. He said, I bet you my week's salary if you make it to the league. And then we made a bet, and I eventually, you know, evolved into a pretty good offensive lineman.
Man, that is a phenomenal story. Tytus Howard of the Texans joining us here. A couple of more thoughts. Like you said, you were what? What did you say you were? 235 high? I mean, by the time the combine came around, you were 322.
Yeah, my first year playing offensive line was like 235. I literally went from 235. I played the next year around like 270, and then I played my last year around 295. And then when I left college, I was around 290, 295, and I bulked up before the combine to like, because you know HBCU ball we end in December, and so as soon as December was up, I went down to Aspie in Tampa with Yo Murphy, and then they bulked me up to like 320 for the combine.
Yeah, and by the way, I saw Reggie Barlow in Nashville. I had Brian Jenkins on my show last week, and then I text Donald Hill-Ely about Bill, who's playing with the Commanders now. So I've talked with all three of those, your former coaches, man.
Because Donal Hill-Ely was my tight end coach at the time.
Yeah, so crazy, man.
He eventually became a head coach.
Yeah, it's so good. Now he's with Georgia Tech, running back.
He was Georgia Tech.
Yeah, with Georgia Tech. Last thought. Your thoughts on the Jaguars and what it's going to take to get the first victory of the season for the Texans in Jacksonville?
They're a hungry team, man. It's a young team. They got a lot of good players, especially on defense. I think to win this game, man, we just got to win the game in the trenches, man. That's offensive line, that's defensive line. Just if we win the battle up front, which I feel like we're going to do, we're going to take this game home, man, because I played Jacksonville 2 times a year for 7 years. So like I pretty much know all those guys over there, and I feel like as a team, we just got to do what we got to do up front. We get CJ time; he's gonna do what he needs to do, and we get to the quarterback and stuff on the defensive side. It should take care of itself.
Tytus Howard again in his 7th season, all with the Texans, starting right tackle. He joins us here on BOXTOROW. Not only the former first-round pick of course, the Texans out of Alabama State, he's the last HBCU player to be drafted in the first round, as the Texans are going to be on the road to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, that was a great story, Tytus. We really appreciate the time. Continued, hopefully you all get that first win in Jacksonville this Sunday.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me.